So if you are thinking of going on a cruise to Alaska this year, you cannot miss our video today. We're talking lots about Alaska. We've got updates on the Ruby Princess. We're going to talk a little bit about princess dining again. I've got a question for you on that, those of you that have done it with a group, specialty dining. And then finally, what on earth is going on in Fort Lauderdale? Huge news if you are taking out sailing out of Fort Lauderdale within the next few days. So let's go ahead and get started. Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Today is Thursday, it's April 13th of 2023, and let's start off really fast with Emirates. So, you know what? I have looked a lot, and I am starting to think that maybe the Emirates thing is an April Fool's joke. I looked through so much information about that before I told you about that. I am really good about that. I always look at several sources before I tell you something, so that that is news, so that I'm accurate with it. I'm starting to think that it is an April Fool's joke, okay? If I hear something else about it, I will let you know, but I do want to give them a hats off because that was a really good April Fool's, because I checked lots of places. There are even still places out there advertising that they are ready to book you on an Emirates cruise, okay? So whatever. Now, the next thing that I want to talk to you about, though, this is really exciting for me. And so you know that we have the most amazing community here on YouTube. I'm not dissing anyone with that, but we do have the very best community here and the most amazing people in our Let's Go family. So Gordon's going to slide in here a picture of our Let's Go family member, Jeffrey. He is the man behind the blog Cruising for One and that YouTube channel. So if you don't follow them yet, if you haven't subscribed to his channel, go subscribe. He is amazing. But he is on the Caribbean Princess right now and put up a picture of himself with palm trees with his Let's Go Travel Tips polo shirt on. So thank you, Jeffrey, very much for getting the word out about our channel. And I just want you to know, I don't take time to do this very often, but we love each one of you. And I don't know how that works, but it does. And we are really grateful to have all of you with us. We've got lots of new Let's Go family members. We are delighted to have you with us, as we are about our Let's Go family members who have been with us since the beginning. You all are remarkable, so thank you. Now we need to talk about Alaska. So there is lots of news with Alaska. So first of all, let's start off with, let's talk about Princess in Alaska, and then we're going to talk about Skagway. Huge news going on with Skagway, even just today. You know that is a really big deal with cruise ships going to Skagway. So super fast, I want to start off and let you know that Princess is actually going to have 6 ships in Alaska this year. That is a huge commitment of their fleet, and it also highlights how amazing Princess is in Alaska. If you have been around here long, I would say if you have never been to Alaska, go on Holland America or on Princess, one of those two. And if you've been on one, I think you should go on the other. That is how much I am behind those two cruise lines going to Alaska. I am really anxious to look at Celebrity as well. I have enjoyed our cruises on the Celebrity Beyond and the Celebrity Reflection enough that I would really like to give Celebrity to Alaska a try as well. I think that that would be a wonderful tweak on the whole experience. So I'm looking forward to doing that. I don't know if it's going to be this year. It might be this year or next year, but we're going to do it. So anyway, Princess, like I said, is going to have 6 ships. The Sapphire Princess just arrived in Vancouver. How fun is that? And so she is going to start sailing on April 29th. Now, I'm going to tell you super fast the 6 ships that are going to be there and when their kickoff is to start the Alaska season there and what they're doing for their first itinerary. But I think it's really important to note that Princess is going to have, over the course of the cruise season there in Alaska, they are going to have 15 different itineraries. So gone are the days that you just sign up for a 7-day cruise, a round trip out of Vancouver or a round trip out of Seattle. We've got the north and southbound, from Anchorage down to Vancouver, Vancouver back up to Anchorage. Those have even been around for a while, but gone are the days with just those little things to choose from. There are so many itineraries, and I think it also is wonderful because you can choose what you want if you have never been, but if you have been, I think that it is amazing to be able to choose another itinerary. At the same time, if you only have 7 days, if you've only got a week off of work, it'll work for you to go to Alaska. Alaska is so special. You go there and you come back refreshed, I think, at least I do, in a different way than if I go to the Caribbean. Love the Caribbean, especially in the wintertime when it's cold where I live. But going to Alaska is amazing. It's extraordinary. So that, like I said, that Sapphire Princess starts sailing on April 29th. She's doing an 11-day Alaska Inside Passage with Glacier Bay. Then on April 30th, the Discovery Princess kicks off her sailings, and she is going out of Vancouver and returning in Seattle. May 1st, the Grand Princess sets sail there in Alaska. She's doing a 5-day sampler round trip out of Vancouver. So the only ports that she is going to visit is Juneau and Ketchikan. I was on a call like a video watching marketing people from Princess talking about things the other day. And when they were talking about 5-day sailings, it kept coming up as like more of a party sailing. I don't know how much a 5-day sailing to Alaska would be a party thing, but if you're just looking for a short cruise to get your feet wet and you go on Princess for those 5 days and you think that it is a crazy party experience, give Princess another try, because generally Princess is a lot of fun, but it's not like a party ship, okay? It's not like More Carnival is known for, things like that, but a lot of cruises will turn into a party on those shorter itineraries. So be aware of that, okay? Not saying you shouldn't do it. I'm just saying go in with your eyes wide open. Now, also on May 5th, we've got 2 other Princess ships embarking for their Alaska season. The Majestic Princess is doing an 8-day Inside Passage round trip from Vancouver, and they'll be visiting the Endicott Arm and glaciers. And then on May 5th, also, we've got the Crown Princess. She's going to sail a round trip from Vancouver on a 7-day Inside Passage with Endicott Arm and Dawes Glacier as well. And then finally on May 6th, our own Royal Princess starts sailing. She's doing a 7-day round trip with Glacier Bay and that Inside Passage. So just wanted to let you know when all of the different ships are starting sailing, and just to give you, there are so many different itineraries, so many different things to try. I feel like, I don't know if the word is the old days, but when they had fewer itineraries in Alaska, so often you would go to Glacier Bay, Juneau, Ketchikan, and Skagway. And that is just how it was for a really long time, that's predominantly overall what was done. But now we have Sitka is on the map with Princess. Makes me really excited. On our Holland America group cruise, we're going to Sitka. I am so excited to see Sitka. They've got great excursions there. Plus, I want to see that. That was the Russian capital of Alaska when Alaska was part of Russia. And being a history buff, I really am excited to see that. And so anyway, there are so many options. I just wanted to make sure that you know about that. If you haven't signed up for Alaska yet, it is not too late. I know that some of the sailings are really tight on space, but every now and again someone cancels and you can pick up a cabin. So if you're interested in going to Alaska this year and you've not signed up yet, if you would like help, send me an email and I will help you find a cruise that will work perfectly for you. I also wanted to let you know that on these Alaska sailings, last year Princess introduced what they call their Wild for Alaska seafood menu. And they are bringing that back this year, and they've expanded it even more, so they'll have more. And they are also having this whole new garden to table dining experience that will be available at the Fairbanks Princess Riverside Lodge that they've got up there in Fairbanks if you are on a cruise tour. So I'm really excited to hear about that from our Let's Go family members who get to go there. But with that Wild for Alaska, they talk about how they're sourcing like the local seafood up there in Alaska, so it'll be super fresh. And they also include coffee, hot chocolate based drinks, frozen drinks, Alaskan beers, wines, cocktails, and other creations are part of that Wild for Alaska menu. So that'll be really fun to see as well. So let's see. Oh, and the other thing, I know salmon is huge in Alaska, like Ketchikan is the salmon fishing capital of the world. So, and part of that menu thing is they're going to have 3 different kinds of salmon. They're going to have the king salmon, which is also called Chinook, the sockeye, and the coho, as well as the Alaskan cod, halibut, and rockfish, among other varieties. So I just thought I would tell you about that. And really quick here while we are talking about Princess to Alaska, and indeed I did notice the same thing on Holland America last year. I get a lot of emails with people asking me, what do I wear for formal night there? And so I just wanted to let you know that generally on the Alaskan cruises, you see a little bit more casual wear overall on the ships, because you're out there, you're in the wilderness, you're seeing things, you're doing excursions. So it does tend to be a little bit more casual in the main dining rooms, as well as, like I said, on the rest of the ship. You see a lot more jeans, you see a lot more just casual wear as you think of dressing in layers and being outside and looking at the beautiful scenery and then coming in to sit down for dinner. But also there are a lot of people that still dress for dinner. So whatever you want to do with that is just fine. Don't go, I wouldn't say don't, my suggestion would be probably don't show up at the main dining room in your jeans that look like you just cleaned the garage, something like that. Do look a little bit tidier, a little more put together than that. But I wanted to let you know, and the same with the formal nights, you will see the whole range there, like I think you do on a lot of cruise ships these days, because some people love to dress for dinner. You'll see tuxedos and evening gowns, you'll see suits, you'll see sport coats for the gentlemen, you'll see with and without a tie for the ladies. You will see, like I said, those beautiful evening gowns, just down to regular dresses, you know, the shorter length of dresses, even just to some nice pants and a blouse. And so whatever you would like to do and however you are most comfortable, I think will be just fine in a little bit of those parameters. I do want you to know that it's always important to remember to be comfortable, still be you. I personally, on some cruises, Gordon and I dress up a lot. I'll take a beautiful evening gown, I'll take something really nice. Sometimes I don't. I just wear black pants and a black blouse and a black scarf, and that's me. Part of it depends on where we're going and just how much luggage I want to take, things like that. But I just wanted to make you aware of how things are on those Alaskan cruises and maybe what to help you with your packing a little bit. And I do have a video, one of the very first videos that I did, that shows really what you really need to think about when you're packing for Alaska, and so I'll have Gordon link that for us. Now, another really big deal in Alaska is Skagway. So if you are new around here and maybe didn't hear this, last year there were a series of landslides in Skagway right by the dock where ships pull in, and it happens to be where a lot of princess ships would dock. So it developed all these troubles. It made it so that some of the ships that were going to call there just had to anchor, so that then there were only tenders going in, which is really hard on people. Like if you use a wheelchair or an electric scooter, pretty much that's not going to work on the tenders. So it made that so that you had to stay on board the ship there in if you were calling in Skagway. So they have been working on this. Skagway is amazing, and they also understand that really tourism and that Alaska season for cruisers is the lifeblood of that town. That's how people make money there that carry them for the rest of the year. So it's really, really important. All the tour directors and everybody that they have doing that kind of thing, as well as the people who own shops and restaurants, everything that goes along there really is very dependent on the cruise travelers. And so they have obviously been working on a solution. Last year when they were doing it, they would have the people who were on tenders go to one location. It was very slow, so they have developed a whole new plan that the people coming in on a tender will go to another little location here in their small boat area, I believe is where it is, and make it so that they can move tenders in and out more quickly and have a better place for all of these passengers to disembark and get to their tours or into town. Skagway is very nice, if you didn't know that. If you are right there where historically Princess and Holland America dock, and indeed the other cruise lines when they're able to dock there as well. Holland America and Princess own those docks, by the way, but other cruise ships get to use them as well. So they it's very close to town. So when you get off and you're going to go on an excursion, or you're going to get off and you just want to walk around, it is really close. It's just a short walk into town, or a little quick walk over to where you need to catch your tour group. So thought you'd like to know that. But anyway, so back to where we stand today. So today there is a news release up there in Skagway. It says that a large rock throws a wrench into Skagway's cruise ship schedule. So they've got this huge rock there called Ship Rock, that's what the locals call it, that is in danger of falling. And so this whole time the cruise lines have been working out how they are going to manage, first of all, their season there in Skagway. And as the season gets closer and closer and closer, this rock, Ship Rock, is still poised there with and a lot of people are concerned she's going to fall. And so they have designed kind of a way that they are going to manage this for the season. One of the things they are doing is that they are paying people to live in these little tents close by, and they will have the job of watching that rock 8 to 10 hours a day. And if it starts to come down, they're going to have radios to radio and let people know that a landslide is imminent. They say that once you hear the sound or see anything, you've got about 12 to 20 seconds to do something about it, because then it's going to come down. And so they figure that these people watching it will be able to alert people that this is going to happen. And if buses were going to go along there, hopefully people would have enough time to either finish if the bus was partway through that range, or stop the buses so that they don't go if that's going if the rock is going to fall or there's any kind of landslide there. It says that most of the cruise companies seem mostly satisfied with the new mitigation measures in place, but some cruise lines are not. And so one of the things that they are looking at doing is having it so that just one ship is docked right there. They've been trying to figure out how to have two, because that dock always has two. And of course, when people go to Alaska, they want to go to Skagway. So they are thinking of making only one ship be in dock there, so that you would shorten the port calls in Skagway, so that you have a ship that would come in earlier in the morning and be there part of the day, and then another ship would take its place in the afternoon and be there into the evening. And I think that that's probably what they're going to end up doing. I don't know. It's just said all these different options. And so really pay attention to the itinerary for your cruise and let me know if we have any itinerary changes in Skagway to do with this. Especially, I like to hear about all itinerary changes because it helps all of us. So do let us know. But very specifically, Skagway, it's going to be really interesting to see if we end up having more ships tendering, not pulling up and docking, but rather being there. It's a big harbor area there in Skagway, lots of room for that. But it'll be interesting to see if we have more people having to tender in, just what they do. The really nice thing about when you go there during the cruise season is the days are long. And so if you're on one of those ships that's going to go and be there in the morning, and leave, in the early afternoon or whatever, you're going to have daylight. You're going to still have time to do that, the Yukon Railway, if that's what you would like to do, or sightsee in town or do any of the other excursions. And the same if you come in the early afternoon and you're there through the evening, it's light late, which is so lovely that you'll be able to still see everything that you want to see and enjoy your time in port. So like I said, let us know if you hear of updates surrounding your Skagway itinerary. Let's see, what else do I want to tell you? Oh, and I think that, they said that it was going to be about 50 times during this season that they are going to maybe have to shorten those port stays and switch ships, because that's how many times they thought they were planning to have two ships docked at that port. At that pier. So, like I said, let us know. And next Tuesday, by the way, April 18th is the day that the very first cruise ship calls in Skagway. So we hear of things going on with Princess, but there are lots and lots, and the other big cruise lines, but there are a lot of cruise lines that go to Alaska there. And so Vancouver has said how excited they are. They're really excited. It was a really big deal as the Sapphire Princess pulled into port, but they are expecting, they're in Vancouver, so this is just Vancouver. Princess is doing sailings that include San Francisco, Seattle, and Vancouver as the where they're going to be sailing from. But just for the port of Vancouver, they are expecting 331 ship calls this year. That's huge. That's huge. And I thought it was really fun to know that the next 6 ships that are due to arrive there in Vancouver. So this will also be a lovely way to broaden your horizons. If you've already been to Alaska, or you would like a little bit more luxurious, smaller ship excursion experience and everything, those, like Silversea, for example, they get into ports like the big ships don't even think about, because they have these lovely smaller ships that can get into all of these much more remote areas. So that is indeed on my list to get to do someday. But the next 6 will be, of course, Brilliance of the Seas, there with Royal Caribbean, but the Silver Whisper, the Hanseatic Nature, the Fridtjof Nansen, Fridtjof Nansen, and then the Seabourn Venture and the Scenic Eclipse too. So lots of cruise lines, lots of options with Alaska. And you know what? I wouldn't say one's right or wrong. It's just different, and different is often so lovely. Now, the next thing we need to talk about is the Ruby Princess. Now, the Ruby Princess is due to go into dry dock in a few months, but we've got Let's Go family members that have been sailing on her, and I just wanted to let you know some of the updates. So they were just on a 1980s cruise, and like lots of fun music. They said about how many people, quite a few people on the ship are dressed up in 80s attire, which makes it a little bit more fun. When we went on the Love Boat cruise, I didn't dress up in 70s attire. I probably should have. It would have been a little more fun, but anyway, so it's kind of fun. Some people are dressed up. They also, I should add that she was sailing out of Galveston, and so they were really busy. They went to Cozumel. The weather was beautiful. There were six ships in port in Cozumel, which is not unusual. Cozumel is a huge cruise port, and a lot of ships are usually there. Let's see what else. I wanted to let you know. Oh, and they said that the Regal Princess is rumored to be coming to Galveston this fall. Indeed, she is. When she does her transatlantic to leave Europe at the end of that season, she is coming straight to Galveston. So, like, if you even live in Texas there, or that's an easy port for you to do, or cheap flights in and out, that would be really fun. That's a fun way to travel across the ocean. But as far as the Ruby Princess goes, they said that there were too few bartenders, and that they often had to wait for their drinks. They said that sometimes the app worked perfectly and their drink came right to them, and sometimes it said delivered and it wasn't delivered to them. I think that's going to be a really hard thing going forward. I think that the location thing that the medallion has is amazing, but think how hard it would be for the waiters to just try to decide who is who when you've got so many people. I don't know, but hopefully, I would also say I hope Princess is working on it, because that's what they advertise. They did talk about too few bartenders, like I said. I am wondering, honestly, when we were on the Norwegian Encore and especially on the Norwegian Breakaway, there were there were so few bartenders. I didn't even have as many Diet Cokes as I would have liked to have had, because there were no bartenders. You would even go up to, I even have some footage of it. I don't know if Gordon can find it right up, but when we were on the Breakaway, it would be 7 in the evening, and you'd have one bartender at this bar that was in between the Taste and Savor restaurants, and you got all these people sitting down all the way around there, and everybody wants a drink, and one bartender just outside the buffet up there on the Breakaway. One bartender at that bar, one, and so the line would be forever. So I don't know. I'm trying to think here. When I was on, and that's the longest lines I think I've seen anywhere at a bar. The Encore, it wasn't remarkable for bartenders. When I was on Celebrity, truthfully, I didn't wait for a drink. I would walk up to a bar, and within 1 minute, somebody would be getting me what I wanted, if not less time. They do a really good job there. And Corker, they called me by name every time. The first time, they took my card. After that, like if I was in, and sometimes the bartenders were like at the one by the main dining room, and closer, like out kind of by the piazza, and then you go down, main dining room is down there. Sometimes they would be there, and then I would see them another day up at the buffet bar. There's one which I love, is so handy right there, and they would remember my name. I was amazed. Anyway, that's a side note. But anyway, they thought that they went to eat dinner in the Da Vinci dining room. The food was good, but the 2-hour service from grumpy, rude servers sent us to the buffet to the remaining dinners. So hopefully they'll give, it's just hard to know what to do, isn't it? You go somewhere and you're like, oh, well, I don't want to do that again. So, but I think that's kind of hard. I would probably, like in the long run, try another dining room. But I know it's hard when you're on a short cruise. Here's a really hard thing. So the Princess tickets for the Sea Note excursion said to bring along your towel and your swimsuit to go swimming in the Sea Note. They got on the bus, and at that point, the tour director announced that the Sea Note has been closed since COVID, so nobody was going to get to go swimming. It said that they and fellow passengers, which I agree 100%, felt cheated because that was the reason that you booked that excursion. So I am hoping that Princess looks at their excursions and verifies that what the people tell them they're offering is what they're really offering. I am sure that the tour company told Princess that it was a C-note swim as part of the excursion, but clearly they weren't doing it. And that probably is across the board. I'm sure all cruise lines need to follow through a lot. I have been on, whenever we go on a Princess cruise, I have noticed on lots of the excursions that we have been on that there's at least a crew member, whether it's somebody, a little bit higher up in the whole ranking of everything on the ship, or even if it's just, no matter what their job is on the ship, they've got a day off, they want to take that excursion, so they go, and they clearly can report back. And so I hope the other cruise lines do that as well. Honestly, I haven't asked that much because I haven't been on as many cruises with the other cruise lines. They said that at the end of this cruise, they decided, it says that they've been on 9 cruises. They gave Princess a 7 out of 10 on experience, and they rank Norwegian as 1, Celebrity as 2, Royal Caribbean is 3, and Princess is 4. And it is really interesting to me. This has really opened my eyes as I have started doing this YouTube thing so much. It is really interesting, like all of the different experiences we all look for when we cruise. Like that wouldn't be my ranking of cruise lines, but it doesn't mean it's wrong because it's their ranking. And the lovely thing is that when we all go, we get to decide what cruise line we go on, what we really like about different cruise lines, what we hope comes to one of our favorite cruise lines, just what we hope for when we go on a cruise. And so I thought it was really valuable. I hope that I'm really excited to see everything that happens with the Ruby Princess dry dock coming up. I've heard that it's a little bit more on the outside of the ship rather the interior of the ship, but it's going to be fun to see. None of us really know, I think, everything that is on dock for a dry dock, so it'll be just really interesting to see. Let's see, if any of you have any updates from any cruise line that you are on, we would love to hear from you. It is so valuable to all of us to know, like from this, it is really good to know. You got to be patient with getting your drink still with your medallion. There are not enough bartenders anywhere, it sounds like. And so if you want to drink, you got to stand in line, and you have to decide if you want to stand in that line or not. Just things like that. And so it's really nice to hear from you all. Now, the next thing that we need to discuss super fast is, what we have talked about it before, we need to talk about it again, with trying to make reservations for a group in specialty dining. All right. So as you use the Medallion Class app, the Princess app there, you can add people to, you just add it by booking number. If you're looking at booking, whether it's a main dining room reservation or it's a specialty dining reservation, it automatically pulls up who's on your booking, and then if one of them isn't going to eat with you, you just uncheck them. But otherwise, there's your group. And then if you want to add more people to your dining reservation, you just add their booking numbers and it puts it on. Here's the really hard thing. I want to know how this is looking for everybody. So it used to be that Princess would never pick up if you had the Princess or the Premier package, and you would have to pay for your specialty dining when you made the reservation. Then when you got on board the ship, you'd have to go to customer service and get that money refunded to you because you had the package and it was included, right? And so though they have made improvements, and now it is supposed to catch if you have a package. So if the app is going to pick up that people have a package that includes that specialty dining and you don't have to pay for it, that's very slick. You can book your dinner reservation for your family, your friends, whoever it is that you want to put in your group, and then you're set for when you get on the ship. But if you can't and you want everybody to pay for their own dinner, I think that what you could probably do, this is my idea and I want to hear from you all, is each of you go ahead and book specialty dining for the night that you want to do it, so that the restaurant keeps availability for that. Then when you get on the ship, go and ask them to put you together at a bigger table, put your tables close together, whatever it is, so that you can eat together more. But at least you won't be going in and asking to seat 10 people when they didn't even have that much capacity left for the restaurant that evening or in that time slot. So if you could all kind of say how you're navigating that right now, I would really appreciate it. So thank you very much. Alrighty, the last thing that we need to talk about, and before I talk about this, will you all please subscribe to our channel? We need to have you with us. We'd love to have you with us. We cover so much useful information, whether you're going to Alaska this year, the Mediterranean, sailing out of Southampton, no matter where you're going in the world, we cover so much that I think it will really help you to be up to date with. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Now, the Fort Lauderdale airport, if you can believe it, is closed today. There have been 600, today is Thursday, like I said, April 13th. There have been 660 flights canceled at that airport today, and it is closed until tomorrow morning. So apparently over Wednesday and Thursday, like 14 to 20 inches of rain fell in the Fort Lauderdale area in a very short period of time. So we are still waiting to see how much this is going to in fact impact cruises that are going out of Fort Lauderdale there. It said that clearly it's impacting passengers being able to fly in today, and with those delays, if the flights that were coming in tomorrow were already full, it's going to be really hard to get rescheduled. And so if you are booked with Princess Easy Air, like, call them today and start getting that ball rolling to get that fixed. The other thing is, if you booked your own flights, call and see what you can do about that. I think you would all know that, but if you haven't thought of that yet, definitely do that, because there are lots of cruise ships that are set to come and go over the next few days there out of Fort Lauderdale. So much rain fell that they are even evaluating all the port, like all the docks and everything that goes with it there. They say it can be even impacting people who are trying to drive into Fort Lauderdale to get down to that port area to go on their cruise. That is like how much rain they have had and the damage that they are expecting and trying to assess right now. And so I thought I would let you know that the only cruise ship that was supposed to call there today is a Viking ship, and they it was on their trip from Buenos Aires to Toronto. And so I don't know how many people were set to get off there or anything, but it'll be interesting to see if that ship is able to make it into port. And then tomorrow is Friday, April 14th. Royal Caribbean's Liberty of the Seas was supposed to be there. And on Saturday, there are 5 ships that were supposed to come into Fort Lauderdale, let their passengers off, and get a whole new load of passengers. It's supposed to be like the Caribbean Princess is one of them. We've got Costa Cruises, the Deliciosa, Holland America's Volendam, and then 2 celebrity cruise ships, the Equinox and the Apex. Those were also due to have turnaround days there on April 15th. And so let me know if you receive any communication from the cruise lines, would you? It'll help all of us. I know that some of us can even be going on the same cruise, and somehow the email either doesn't come to us with information or it goes to our spam. And so I try really hard to get the word out on what's going on, just to kind of try to help everyone stay up to date with everything that's going on. And then, of course, this just all rolls forward. On Sunday, there were several ships to do a turnaround. We've got the Regal Princess, the Emerald Princess, Odyssey of the Seas there, and then the Celebrity Reflection and the Celebrity Beyond. So this is really huge there. So let me know what you hear. And like I said, if you're on any other cruise ship or you've got a cruise coming up, I'd love to hear with you how everything is going for that. So thank you so very much. Like I said, please subscribe if you have subscribed. Thank you so very much. And if you appreciate these updates, please give this video a thumbs up. That actually really helps us more than you would probably guess. So thanks for taking a minute and hitting that thumbs up. And I'll be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.